Used to be in silent pictures, used to be big.
I am big. It's the pictures that got small. I am big. It's the pictures that got small. I am big.
Here's, I think, a pretty interesting story of decisions being made by very few people that affect all of us. The man who saved the world. October 27th, 1962. The world is 4 days into the Cuban Missile Crisis, and somewhere beneath the Atlantic Ocean, a Soviet submarine called B-59 has gone completely dark. No radio contact with Moscow for days. The crew has no idea if nuclear war has already started above them. What they do know is this: American destroyers have found them, and something is hitting the hull. The Americans are dropping practice depth charges, a signal to surface, identify yourself. The crew of B-59 doesn't know that. What they know is they're completely surrounded. Above them, the entire surface is crawling with U.S. naval hunter-killer ships. Destroyers, aircraft, the most aggressive anti-submarine operation the Americans have ever run. There is nowhere to go, nowhere to hide. They cannot rise to snorkel depth to run the diesel engines, not with that many eyes above the water, which means no cooling, no fresh air cycling through. The hull has become an oven. 113 degrees Fahrenheit inside a sealed metal tube. Men are losing consciousness at their stations. Some are hallucinating. They've been down here so long in this heat, in silence, cut off from Moscow, cut off from everything, that the world above might as well not exist anymore. The captain, Valentin Savitsky, has had enough. B-59 is carrying a nuclear-armed torpedo, a single weapon with the destructive power of Hiroshima. Soviet protocol gives him the authority to use it. Here's the catch. All 3 senior officers on board must agree. Captain Savitsky, yes. Political officer Ivan Malsenikov, yes. 1 vote left. 1 man. Vasily Alexandrovich Arkhipov. Brigadier commander. Equal in rank to the captain himself. The boat is shaking. Men are half conscious in the heat. The captain is certain that they're at war. He wants to launch. Arkhipov looks at his captain and he says, "No, not yet. We do not know enough. We surface, we get information, then we decide." That argument in that steel tube, in that heat, in that silence, that's the moment. Not the back channels in Washington, not the diplomats in New York. That room, those three men, that one cool head. B-59 surfaces. No torpedo is fired. The world continues. Kennedy never knew how close it was. Khrushchev never knew. No one for decades, until the files were declassified in the early 2000s. A Cuban Missile Crisis Conference in Havana, 2002. Arkhipav's wife, Olga, sitting in the room. A former U.S. Secretary of Defense turns to her and says, "Your husband saved the world." Vasily Arkhipov died in 1998. No medal, no ceremony, no ticker tape parade. He went home. He lived his life quietly. He just happened to be the man who, at that exact right moment, in that exact worst conditions, when the heat was unbearable and men around him were losing their minds, had the singular nerve to say, "We don't know enough to end everything." In a world that needed one yes to end, he said no. And here we are, still here, because of him. It's food for thought, people. One voice, one man, make all the difference. Cheers, y'all.